Good morning, good day, and good evening. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson. Today, I don't have any tea, but I do have some grapes here. And also, we have the developer of the Ratty terminal. So, how about you introduce yourself? And, yeah, we'll just go from there.
Hey guys, my name is Orhun. First of all, thanks Brody for the invite. I've been following Brody's channel for a while now. Actually, he did I think 2 or 3 videos already about my other tools, and this time I'm just super happy to be on the podcast and just give you the background story of Ratty and just talk about some stuff. So, my name is Orhun Parmaksız. I am from Turkey and I am an open source developer basically. I've been working on Rust, terminals, and a library called Ratatouille. And I just like to experiment with terminals and just create content. I live stream, I share stuff on the internet, write blog posts and all the influencer stuff basically. So yeah, that's me, I guess.
What did I make a video on that you'd done? I thought this. I wasn't aware of this.
Yeah. So you did a video on Kmon, which is a Linux kernel
Did I?
monitor tool. Yeah, yeah, you did.
Sorry, I sometimes forget
And
the videos that I. Okay, that was like 6 years ago.
yeah,
Okay.
you did that, and you also did Sisteroid. Do you remember that tool? The sysctl, but on steroids. That one was a
Ah,
good one.
yes, yes,
Um,
yes. Oh my god, okay, I didn't. Sorry, I didn't realize I make 6 videos a week.
yeah.
Sometimes, and it's not even just like software stuff. Sometimes I will think like, oh, have I done a video on, I don't know, the history of Linux audio system? And I'm like, wait, yes, 5 years ago. Right. Okay.
No, I mean that's totally fair. That's totally fair. I mean, I was basically like, I was the guy who was making all these like fun twee stuff,
Mhm.
and nowadays that thing became my like basically my persona on the internet,
Mhm.
just the guy who makes terminal stuff. So it's totally normal. I've been doing
I
this
do
for
remember
for
this app.
some time
Okay.
now.
Okay. Okay. This,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, I do remember this one. God, that
yeah.
was a while ago.
So
That was a long while ago.
it's 6 years ago, man. I mean, time flies.
Yeah. Well, how did you go from doing stuff like that to where we are now? Like, where did the idea for Ratty come from? And I guess sort of to get into that, you sort of got to talk about Ratatouille as well.
Yeah. So this is actually quite fun because
Mm.
it's like going full circle. You did the video on Kmon, and
Mhm.
Kmon was my first ever Rust project, and it was a terminal UI project.
Mhm.
And when I saw that, and when I saw people excited about this tool, I was immediately hooked because I was like, okay, I made this thing, and I'm using it, and people love it, and I'm like, okay, I want to do this thing. I want to do more, And basically, I was using a library called Twee-RS
Mhm.
for making these Twee apps, and at some point, I had like came on Sisteroid and there was GPG Twee, and I had these 3 apps. And someone from TweeRS discussions pinged me, and I got this message. They said, there's Orhun who's like doing these like apps, and maybe he's interested in taking like a maintainer role in this new fork
Mhm.
of TweeRS. And I was like, okay, I was super excited because I love this library already. I was using it, and there was this like issue where the original author, was saying, "Hey, I don't have time. I wanna, keep working on this project, but I cannot work on this. So if anyone is interested, let's do something about it."
Mhm.
So I was in the original team who forked the project, and now it's basically known as Ratatouille, and I've been working on this for more than 3 years, I think. So basically, this became my passion, all because you did a video and came on. Someone else shared it on Reddit, and it just blew up, and I was super excited. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
yeah, that's the whole
awesome.
story. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I don't know. I guess I'm glad that people appreciated the work, and I the v- I don't want to go back and look at the video because I know my videos back then were not great. Like anytime you look back at your old stuff, you're like, what was I doing back then? It happens with everything, whether it be like content creation or programming. You look back at an old project, like that's garbage. Why did anyone like this? You immediately see all the problems you had back then. But I'm glad that it sort of led to where we are now, and I guess doing everything you're doing at this point.
Yeah. So nowadays, Ratatouille is the go-to library if you want to build terminal UI applications in Rust.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
we now actually ported Ratatouille to many other systems. So you can build embedded projects as well. You can literally run Tweez on little screens.
mhm.
And I've seen like just the other day, someone just run Ratatouille on their like on their espresso machine because they were like, okay, I want to like have a Tui like a little screen,
Mhm, mhm.
and I want to see how much, I don't know how much things like happening and working in this machine. So people have these like crazy use cases now, and I'm super glad that we took the terminal UI approach to other platforms. Somebody actually run Ratatouille on their car dashboard. So one day I go on Twitter, someone just posting a video from their car, and they just like driving, and there's this like terminal UI on their car's dashboard with all the Ratatouille widgets, and I'm like, what is going on here? So I'm all about like crazy experiments, and like I love you know taking terminal to other places.
Mhm.
So going back to Ratty and where it came from, we had like we were experimenting with like crazy ideas already. We actually ran a challenge called Rat in the Wild, and we shipped aprons to people who built crazy projects with Ratatouille. And the other day, like I don't know,
Do you have an
I was
example
just
of like one of those crazy projects? Just one that comes to mind.
Ratatouille, yeah, Ratatouille Minecraft basically. This one was like one of the winners. Um, they put like Ratatouille in Minecraft. um, the yeah, the other one was like the Suzuki RS, which is the Suzuki car,
Uh.
like the car dashboard thing. So yeah, I don't remember the other one, but yeah, we basically have these use cases now. Basically, like like the I don't know, you can run Twee apps on your bootloader. There's no like OS at that point. Like yeah, so yeah, thanks to Rust and portability features of Rust, and Ratatouille is like super simple like architecture. You can port stuff to it, and I was thinking, like I was thinking like, what can I do next? And I saw this. So we are running. Okay, there's like so many things to talk about now, but just to give you like a short summary, I'm running a hackerspace in my city,
Mhm,
and every time we are there, I want to build something new, and I was experimenting with like 3D rendering and Bevy at some point because I was kind of uh, I saw this Ratatouille project called Soft Ratatouille, which is you can render the terminal and you can like render it on any buffer basically.
mhm,
So I saw that, and one of my friends, Gold Silver Copper, he made like a 3D animation using this. So he basically used Soft Ratatouille and rendered a 2D surface and put it on a um, 3D object using Bevy.
mhm, mhm,
So in the hacker space, I was like, okay, how does this thing work? Because like you have this like Ratatouille layer, you have this Bevy layer, and maybe you can like, I don't know, like maybe you can do the other way around. You can have like a 2D thing and on a 3D. So yeah, I was just experimenting, wipe coding, prompting. And at some point, I managed to have a terminal, like a 2D terminal, like a shell, and after that, I basically kept experimenting. And in like 2 weeks, I was, I had Ratty because, I was so lost. Like in 2 weeks, I had to do other things, but I was like, no, I want to work on this because it's so fun. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to do it either way. So, I kept adding features. This is not my first terminal emulator project,
Mhm.
so I knew what to do. Like, the roadmap was obvious, like add key bindings, add this support, that support, and then make it configurable and so on. So basically, I don't know, this was like a fun Ratatouille experiment because it uses Ratatouille under the hood and Bevy as well. So basically, all of these things came together and led to Ratty. And the reason is, why not?
Yeah, that's a good enough reason for it. Like, I saw a lot of the responses to it on like Hacker News and places like that. Besides the people who were really obsessed with using it in VR, which I don't really understand why you'd use it in VR because you can already have 2D planes in a 3D space. I think people misunderstood what it was. I don't know. People were really obsessed with this in VR. Besides that, it was just a lot of comments of why. Why are you doing this? What is the point? There's no point to this.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a documentary of TempleOS a while ago, and I was like, you know, this guy was onto something. And the 3D sprites thing,
Mhm,
like Terry Davis, we're talking about Terry Davis. If any listeners are just not aware of what I'm saying,
mhm, mhm.
um, Terry Davis, he had this like whole operating system where you have text, sprites, documents, all in the same place, and he made it in a way that everything works well with each other. You can literally have like 3D sprites in the source code. You can move them around, you can copy them, paste them. It was just like mind blowing to me. I was every time I watch like Terry Davis streams or like some memes, like they're everywhere nowadays. I'm like, dude, this was like I don't know what I'm looking at, but that's so fun. Like,
Mhm,
what
mhm,
the hell is going on there? So basically, the inspiration came from there as well. I was always like I love Terry Davis, like rest in peace. Like he was a big inspiration to me. Like I'm not I'm just seeing his like talent and his his pure talent. He is a brilliant person. He was. So ignoring all the negative stuff about him, he was just genius. So I
mhm,
was
mhm,
I
mhm,
was like super inspired by what he has achieved, what he has done
mhm, mhm,
without AI. Let me add, without like with zero AI, he just like wrote all that code. So basically, sprites on the command line. Um, there we have it in Ratty.
mhm, mhm.
I don't know.
So, what are you have these sort of like test applications, but what are some ideas that people have been throwing around for what you could do with the 3D in a terminal? Or what are some of the ideas that maybe you had that you just didn't bother to like actually go and implement?
So I think the biggest one. So I went. So first of all, I went to FOSDEM this year.
Mhm,
This is a huge conference where you have a lot of people from all kinds of backgrounds and like a lot of rooms and so on. And I was a part of the robotics room, and it was one sec. It was super surprising for me because people were using Ratatouille there, and I was like, okay, they're using Ratatouille in like robotics applications, and like I get like random shout outs in during the talks, and I'm in right there in the audience. And at some point I just said, hey guys, I'm here, I maintain this library. And they're like, oh, there you are, and they gave me an applause and so on. They're super nice people. So one thing that they said to me, we love Ratatouille, but I wish we had like 3D like rendering, like better visuals
mhm,
and so on, because they want to have simulations. They want to like, how the robot behaves, and they want to like draw stuff. They want more interactivity from the terminal.
mhm,
So one of the things that I had back in the back in my mind was we could have like a CAD drawing program like entirely in the terminal, because now we can render 3D stuff. And actually, this thing now exists, and I can show you if you want.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let me show you. Start sharing screen.
Okay.
1 second. Okay, so let me exit this. So this is Ratty, first of all.
Sure.
For those who don't know what this is, we have a rat cursor. You can use this like any other terminal basically, but you can do stuff like this because why not? So okay, let me run it. This thing is called ratscad. This is basically using OpenSCAD under the hood. Oh man, I don't want to build all this. But I guess we're gonna build it. Basically, it's like a IDE in the terminal where you have your code representation of what you have designed and also a 3D preview. So on one side you have your design file. It has its own syntax and so on, and on the other side you can see the um, like the preview,
Mhm.
and this renders entirely in the oh, okay.
Mhm.
Of course, of course. Okay, maybe
Live demos.
rest in peace. Okay, let me show you the video actually. Ratscat. I just contributed to this, by the way. We're still working on this. So basically this. So you can have this 3D object entirely in the terminal,
Oh, okay. That's sick.
and you can change it, and in real time it renders again, and then yeah, you have the even the coordinate stuff here, basically. Yeah, stuff like this. I knew that this was possible, but I haven't built it.
Mhm.
And actually, this is one of our members from the hackerspace. They built this in an hour, and we shared it on Reddit. We got like flamed because it was wife coded, but whatever, it works. Yeah, basically this, and yeah, that's one application, possible application of Ratty, basically.
That's really cool. That is really cool. We get another one here. What are we doing now? What is this?
So I'm gonna
Ah,
show you
bring up this. Here
the
we go.
this draw demo because I think it was quite a fun thing. This is a brand new computer, that's why I don't have the dependencies. We're just waiting for
Oh,
the
fair enough. Fair
rest.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were planning to record this a couple of days ago, and your ThinkPad decided it wanted to think no longer. Sorry,
Yeah,
that was a
just
terrible
gave
joke.
up on me. It just gave up on me.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
here we go.
um yeah, I've added this mouse support just recently, so you can actually rotate the object with your mouse. But basically, oh,
Ooh.
you know, while I was experimenting with the Mobius strip, I tried other shapes as well.
Mm.
This is like a I don't know, just the background story. I tried like a clean bottle,
Clean bottle.
like this
Oh
this shape.
God. Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't very successful at it, but yeah, let me know if you know any good, like, I don't know, shapes to do from this, like that we can render in the terminal. Render terminal as,
Mhm,
you know.
mhm,
There's also what was it? This one, Gumbek, Gumbek.
mhm. What
I don't
is
know.
what is
I,
Gumbok?
I don't know. This is actually quite fun. So this shape, this is like entirely unrelated to the podcast, but like this shape has like like two or one balance points, and however you place it on the ground, it always comes back to that center point, or something. I don't know. Not a physicist. But I tried to render the terminal as a gumbug,
How'd that go
so
for you?
not well. But yeah, this is Ratty. I try, like, I'm daily driving this, by the way,
Mhm.
and like
Oh,
fixing
that's one
bugs.
thing I missed in my video. How did you do the warping of space?
Um, d- do you mean the key binding, or just
Yeah, yeah,
like how
I
it
must have
works?
missed the binding for that, like how you warp
Oh
the
yeah,
terminal there.
it's Control Alt and up and down.
Ah, okay, okay.
Yeah, and in this shape, it's still usable. So basically, like, you can use the terminal. Sometimes during my live streams, I just go ahead and just write code like this. The terminal has a boner.
That's so stupid. I love
Yeah.
seeing
Anyway,
weird projects like this. This is the kind of stuff I love software for. Like, I know, obviously, there are these really well made, useful projects out there, but I do like just people experimenting with what you can do, and just even if there's like no immediate use case for it, just like see if you can do it.
yeah. I mean, this actually paved the way for many other things. Like, we now have a parlay Ratatouille backend. So this project is what I'm using under the hood for rendering the fonts and like font handling, and just like GPU stuff. So this library is using Ratatouille under the hood. I mentioned soft Ratatouille briefly.
Mm,
Soft Ratatouille is for rendering on a arbitrary buffer, and this project is tailored for GPU rendering using Parlay and Parlay library, basically. And Velo is another library that we're using to render on GPU. So basically, this project Ratty is now depending on this,
mm,
and you can use the underlying libraries, like this new library, to, I don't know, do other things basically. And yeah, in a way that helps the ecosystem to experiment more and build more things that is helpful to other projects.
mhm, mhm.
So yeah, this is what we're using.
Yeah, I think for a long time the terminal space was pretty boring, all things considered. There wasn't really that much going on, like, really at all. It was kind of just like, hey, this is a slightly different terminal. Oh, we have GPU acceleration in this terminal. So it's really cool to see, like, actual, like, new and interesting stuff being done here.
I mean, the comments that I got for this project was like 80% why, but I love this, and 20%, like, let's say 10%, this is so pointless, and the remaining 10% was, this is just wipe coded like bullshit, you know. And I'm super happy with the feedback that I got, and people actually gave me a lot of ideas for this. And like, I'm just glad that, once in a while, people get to see something like this, and they enjoy. I mean, I'm just like super glad that people laughed at this thing, because it's super funny, and I just love it. And this thing is actually a tribute to TempleOS and what Terry Davis has done in the past. So, um, I just like that aspect as well, because what he has done is not known by many people. Nowadays, I guess he's becoming a meme, but yeah, he deserves more eyes on what he has done. I believe he's just like a crazy guy, but he built like all of these stuff by himself. So yeah.
So Do you have some ideas for what you want to do with Ratty at this point, or is it kind of just like it's out there and you're kind of done with it for now?
So I want to daily drive it more, I think. I will do live streams using Ratty, and I will like do presentations probably in Ratty as well, because you can like really see like the terminal from like the power of the terminal from a different aspect. I've been giving talks from the terminal, and I was like, I had the images rendered and I was rendering gifs,
Mhm.
but now you will be able to like actually rotate the terminal and just see the back side of it, which is like a mind-blowing thing to
Mhm.
me. When I first like implemented, I was like, whoa, what, like I never imagined something like this. So I don't know, I think this is the same for people watching.
Mhm.
So I will use it more, and I will like improve it over time. One thing that is a bit concerning is that I have so much attention on this project, but I don't have many like feedbacks when
Mm.
it comes to runtime. So I am not sure if people are just saw the project and they started and they're like super excited about it, or they actually tried it, like installed it. So I didn't receive many screenshots or like videos. So that was a bit like concerning. So I want to maybe just get more feedback, just get more like gather more, I don't know, like user setups, because I use the rat as a cursor, but you can change it to anything.
Mhm.
You can have a 3D model of an octopus, and that would just work. So I want to see fun stuff like that. So maybe I'll ask people to send their setups like screenshots to me at some point, and keep working on this, and let's see where it goes. Maybe I'll see if I can convince other terminals to implement something like this, maybe,
Mhm.
if it gets really, like, I don't know, useful at some point, you know? So yeah.
Because that's kind of how like the kitty image protocol started, right? Like that started as this thing that just one terminal was doing. There are already ways to do images in a terminal. You had things like Sixu and a couple of other things, but at this point, I would say kitty image rendering is kind of the standard for doing 2D images in a terminal at this point.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. I mean, Kitty is just paving the way for many new, like, improvements in the terminal space.
Mhm.
They have been adding new protocols, new things, and, they've been, like, kind of, uh they were the most like modern one for a while, I think.
Mhm.
So we need more protocols to make things more modern these days. And I've looked into like the 6L while I was implementing the image support in Ratty. There's like experimental Kitty image protocol support, because Kitty is just Kitty, and Ratty is just fun. So I was like, I implemented Kitty, but yeah, things really feel ancient. If you
Mhm.
get into writing a terminal emulator, if you really get into handling ANSI escape codes, it really feels ancient. You get like a byte, you handle that byte, and then you get like another thing. Like it's just it feels really from, I don't know, from back in the day. So we could maybe, like, I don't know, modernize the protocols a little bit, have other things, like make other things possible in the terminal. So I have one friend, Rafael Amorim. He's the creator of the Rio terminal,
Oh
and this
yes,
is
yes, I
a
do know that
terminal
one.
emulator. Yeah, it's a terminal emulator written in Rust, and he made this like glyph protocol, and we're gonna actually have an interview with him soon. Like, I will ask him some questions about like the glyph protocol and why he created it.
Mhm.
So he told me, like, he's been maintaining this terminal for multiple years now. We basically met because of this terminal emulator, and he told me, like, while he was writing this, he had like a lot of ideas for new terminal protocols.
Mhm.
So there are so many things to do in the terminal space, and at some point we need to follow the same standards and have like better rendering, I don't know, better message passing or better performance
Mhm.
overall. because nowadays, when a terminal emulator comes out, like there's this new one, let's say, it's like 90% the same. The different part is how they handle the underlying like rendering performance or whatnot. But like the 90% is the same because the protocols hasn't changed that much. So we need to revolutionize, like do more things. I don't know, just push the terminal a bit more.
Mm.
Basically, that's what I'm saying.
I think over the past 7 or so years that I've been doing videos, I think I've seen maybe 4, maybe like 3 or 4 big advancements in the terminal space. True color is now basically a standard. There's no reason to even consider a terminal that doesn't do true color. Images in the terminal, ligatures, and actually taking advantage of the fact that you have a GPU in your system. That's pretty much the majority of the advancements you've even had in the terminal space. Most things, like, yeah, sometimes you have terminals that have, like, splits and stuff, and all, like, you can do that with Termux anyway, but you can do a lot more with the terminal. I think you make a good point there where it's like, this space is very much... When we say terminal, right, it's a terminal emulator. We are emulating these older terminals that existed, and I don't know how much of that needs to be done. And what can actually be changed here to advance the space. I think there is this excitement around doing things in the terminal, and I don't think we necessarily need to just, like, be stuck 30 years in the past. I think, showing that you can do 3D in a terminal, doing 2D images in a terminal, even stuff like this is already opening up aspects that just were not possible before. Other things like one of the things I did see someone suggest is actually having smooth scrolling in a terminal. Whereas traditionally with a terminal, you scroll line by line because that's just the way that you would render things. But if your terminal is being handled in 3D, there's no reason why you couldn't do smooth scrolling with that. Like, that, it seems possible.
Yeah. And like while I was working on the 3D mode, I had so many crazy ideas, and I didn't, like, on purpose, I didn't implement them because I know that this would lead to feature creep and I would just get lost. I just wanted to release this terminal as fast as possible
Mm-mm.
because I'm moving countries really soon. So basically what I had in mind was, so let's say you have multiple sessions of, I don't know, tmux, right? Why not just see them, like, on a, I don't know, 3D cube, and then you just kind of like see them on the same place, or you just move them around, or I don't know, basically like a window manager, but like
Mm-mm.
in the terminal itself. Or maybe you could have, um so you have this like different buffers in the terminal. Every time you type, there's like a new, like on the 3D space, you just have your current like terminal, and then there's this other buffer, like they're just positioned in a way that you can see the history of your terminal, and you can like go back in history and stuff like that.
Ooh, that does
I don't
sound
know,
cool.
there's like so many things. At some point I was experimenting, it was like 3 a.m., and I was like, okay, I want to see the raw NC escape codes, and I want to like have a rat as a figure, and I want this rat to throw those like NC escape codes to the terminal, and then they would appear. So I type, and there's this like rat is just like, I don't know, there's just like, I don't know, text is being transmitted on air to the terminal, and just like an explosion. It was just so stupid, but it's probably somewhere in my Git stash somewhere. So so many things that you can do with this.
Mhm.
Another one is, so there, like, you could see the processes in the terminal, but like they're being spread out, and they're like connections, like, between them,
Mm.
and you can just move them around. You can, like, I don't know, interact with them that's where VR is coming into play a little bit, I guess.
Mm, mm, mm.
The other day, I was talking to Francisco, and he's like doing also Rust content, and we had this live stream where he said, "I want to do like VR in Rust, and I want to like use Ratty in there." And I was like, "If you do that, make it possible that I can punch the terminal." So you just literally like like punch the terminal, and you can see that on the terminal. So that would be so crazy, so useless, but possible.
Mm, mm, mm.
I don't know. So many things. So many things.
I think that's like a core driving idea. So useless, but it's cool.
Yeah. But like there is also a different aspect where
Mm,
people say, we don't need like 3D in the terminal. I can just use my, I don't know, ST.
mm, mm.
Was it called ST? Simple term? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
ST,
yeah.
right?
The suckless
From
one?
from the
Yeah.
stock list.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I can just use that and it just works. And I run Neovim there. It's just super fast. Why do I need to like, I don't know, why do I need a rad
Mhm,
cursor? And I also understand that as well because I've been writing terminal UI apps for like 6 7 years now, and I like the simplicity of the terminal as well. But
mhm,
at the same time, I feel like we should not be stuck there. We should experiment more.
mhm, mhm.
We should do more because terminal is now all of a sudden very popular, probably because of the AI agents and whatnot,
Mm, mm,
and like all the other like stuff. But I've been hyped about terminal for a long time, and we should do more. Is
mhm.
is what I'm saying. So yeah.
Yeah, there's always been this group of people who are like, I want to do as much as possible, as much possible on the terminal. And for a while, I was kind of like that. I've sort of moved. I've started doing different things in my time, but like, there is definitely some. There is definitely areas here where if somebody wants to make a really cool project that nobody has done before, I think being able to do 3D in the terminal completely opens up a whole new realm of, you know, just can I do everything I can possibly do in a terminal, right? Like, there's, if you can, if you have 3D, if you have 2D, basically you can probably do whatever you want if you put your mind to it and are willing to like think through the problem.
Yeah. And this also like makes you think about what is a terminal,
Mm.
because I started like questioning myself at some point. Maybe it's because I'm working on this Ratatouille library
Huh.
long enough that my brain is fried with terminals. But basically, like I ask myself, what is the terminal? Like this is like let's think.
Mm.
Okay, let me ask you, like what is the terminal for you? What is it?
What is, I've never even considered this. I guess it is well, the way I typically use it is like the text-based interface to my system. Like that would, I guess that's the most straightforward answer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, get an input. You have an input
Mm.
and you have an output, right? So basically like you use text to communicate with the computer and
Mm.
that's it. I guess that's, or maybe I don't know. I call that a terminal. Some people call that a command line or a prompt or whatever. But
Sure.
that's basically what a terminal is. And I was like considering, okay, we have this simple logic.
Mhm.
We should be able to, like, this is 2026. We should be able to adopt that into like anything. So terminal is just text. It's 2D. Make
Mm-mm.
it a picture, put it on a surface, render it as 3D. That's still gonna be a terminal. So basically, I was also like considering like how can I like take this terminal approach and make it so that it's no longer feels like a terminal.
Mm.
So that was also like one of the ideas. And in like my original title for the blog post for Ratty was I built a terminal emulator that is not supposed to be a terminal emulator because it feels different. But when you think about what a terminal is, it's just like input and output, and you communicate with the computer using this.
Mhm.
It's a terminal. So yeah, maybe dude, my brain's fried.
No, I think I get what you're trying to say here. Like the idea of a terminal is this. A lot of people have this like set idea in their head, but you're trying to sort of expand that idea. Like, what does a terminal just need to be this text-based interface, or can we do more with this? Can we like
Yeah.
can we actually use this as like a primary input that can stand alongside your other like the graphical applications on your system?
Yeah. So a lot of people actually asked, can I run Wayland in Ratty? And I was like, well, at that point, we are reinventing what are we doing?
Right,
Right.
right.
So, um, and some people actually like this was a funny comment. They said I will at some point reinvent the graphical user interfaces, and I will just be super excited about it. But basically, like they asked, like, can I have Windows in like actual like clickable stuff in Ratty? I
Mhm.
was like, no, this is a terminal emulator. This is not a desktop environment. So yeah, there's like also like ideas like that out there.
I was
Um,
just thinking, could you, could you implement a graphical interface inside of Ratty? But I guess if you can't do click events, then that would be a bit difficult.
you probably can. So okay, one other idea was, we're using Bevy game engine,
Mm,
and let's say you built a game using Bevy. Can we run that game inside Ratty because it's also using Bevy?
mm.
And I think that was possible. So if you have a Bevy app, and yeah, you can basically like run it in the terminal. It's 3D. It's 3D. Like
Mm, mm.
it's using GPU. It uses like 300 megabytes of RAM. We should use that for something. Yeah, it sometimes feels very wasteful just
Mhm.
to render text and a spinning rat. So we should use it.
Yeah, I did get some comments from like the resource, the resource hungry people. It's like, how this is crazy. How dare you make a piece of software that uses all of this RAM? And yeah, it does use a lot of RAM for what it does. But also, have, look, having a full game engine there is probably a little overkill for what you're doing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably like have it like less heavy by just implementing it from scratch. But the issue is, I don't know I don't know where this is going, right? I
Mm,
don't know if this is the final form of Ratty, or if you're gonna like have something else. So I'm keeping Bevy because Bevy is really powerful,
mm, mm,
and until I see like a, I don't know, just like Ratty in a place where people use it and it's very useful
mm.
and it's stable and so on, I don't think I will re-implement and have it like less resource hungry and less, I don't know, bloated. But right now I am super aware that this is taking a lot of RAM and GPU and whatnot. But it's for the spinning rats, man. Come on.
Mm, mm.
It's cool.
Do you have any other ideas for like improvements you would like to see in the terminal space? Just even if the things you're not going to get around to yourself, maybe someone wants to work on some random project.
Yeah, it's a good question, I think. So like I said, I've been using Terminal for giving talks,
Mm,
presentations, and I think we should have like a better support in terms of rendering images and
mhm,
GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say it. Because I'm using Presenterm.
mhm,
Presenterm is a brilliant tool, and it can render like GIFs code blocks. You can execute code. It works super well. It's the best like presentation tool in the terminal, I think. And I'm using Westterm alongside with it,
Mhm,
and Westterm has the best image support. I believe.
mhm,
Like in my experience, it has the best image support, and I find myself switching from Alacrity to Westterm, back to Alacrity, sometimes Rio because Rio has shader support. And I'm not even like experimenting with Ghosty yet because I know that Ghosty has some other features and I didn't really have time. So I basically want I don't know, like we're using so many tools and I think we should have like some of these things should be giving to us as default, and we should not like I don't know, like
mhm,
you see, like I'm using so many things, and I just want to use one thing,
mm, mm,
if
mm,
that makes sense. So yeah, I think we should just improve the overall like I don't know, like image support and like just font support and whatnot, and just less you have less fragmentation in
mhm,
the terminal ecosystem. I am following Terminal Trove. This is a newsletter, and Terminal Trove has this comparison page. And this was something that I have discovered the other day, and they added Ratty terminal there. So you
mhm.
can basically pick like different terminals, and it compares their features for you. Super
Oh.
useful feature. So yeah, I've like I was just looking at the list, and I was like, God damn, we have a lot of terminals, and each one has their own way of handling things.
Mhm, mhm.
So, I don't know, maybe like I don't know, some standards, some kind of yeah, I don't know, man. Like, there's so many projects out there. Like, there's
Mhm,
even like probably like even better like terminal emulators out there that we don't even know.
mhm.
So yeah, so many things to experiment.
I think what you're seeing is this sort of, I guess, maybe you want to call it like a fracturing, where you have the terminals that are just trying to be traditional terminals, like your GNOME terms, um, console, other things like that, where it's like these are the terminals that you're probably going to see ship with an environment. But you're also seeing this like new space of experimentation, and because you're seeing a lot of this experimentation, it's hard to really settle on any like standards for doing things because everything is still kind of in flux. And there's also not that many. Yes, there's a bunch of terminals here, right? But there's not really that many, all things considered. So you have kind of few people working in this space with lots of interesting ideas floating around. So it's this like just kind of mess that I think has to sort itself out over time. And I think as more of the stuff gets ironed out and as people keep working on cool things, like and not even just working cool things, people knowing that cool things are being worked on, I would hope that some of this stuff does start to like settle over time. We are seeing some of that, right? Like with the kitty image protocol, right? Like that is something which has kind of settled now. It's not really like, yes, you have iTerm stuff as well. Yes, you have Sixel, but like
Hmm.
I don't really think there's any real need to like come up with a new solution there. Whereas these
Hmm.
other areas, I think because there's still like early work, like 3D stuff, it's gonna take a while for that stuff to like sort of trickle out into other projects.
Yeah. So I have started a community just for this
Mm,
purpose because I've seen a lot of like a lot of advancements from different projects, but most of the time we don't know about each other, and they just like they decide to implement something and they go ahead and do it, and now that becomes their own thing, like kitty image protocol, right? Or like this glyph protocol. They just like they're in their own bubble, so to speak.
mm,
So I
mm, mm,
started this terminal collective um Discord server. This is a Discord server. We now like have a lot of people there, and I just wanted, like, my goal was to have the maintainers of terminal emulators, multiplexers, TUI apps, and all of those people there, so that we could have some kind of discussion around what to do next.
Mhm, mhm,
And this was like the initial idea was this, and I have like promoted this community during my talks, while I was talking to people, uh, conferences and so on. And it was like we kind of grew, and nowadays we're doing meetups where we basically interview someone from the terminal space, and they present their setup to us, and they present their tools. So Presenterm, for example,
mhm,
we had the author of Presenterm gave a walkthrough of their setup, and like just talked about how they developed Presenterm, how did they know about this new protocols, and what do they do. So one example, there is this text size protocol now implemented in Kitty. For those who don't know, you can now have different text sizes in the terminal. So you can have like a small text, big text, medium size, and after this protocol was implemented, Presenterm just went ahead and implement this thing directly. And I was like, wow, how did I know about this? Did they talk about this before? And how like
mhm,
how
mhm,
do people communicate in this space? So apparently they talked in an issue. And if we like, I was thinking maybe if we could like have this Discord server, or like I don't know, some other Matrix server, or whatever. If you had this place where like the discussion for those things are like central, you could just let us know about like what we're working on, and we could just have like a more of a collective um, collective way of working in the terminal space.
mhm,
But that hasn't happened yet. We're still doing meetups though. That's going all right, I think.
mhm.
But one day, hopefully, we will have like enough people there, enough maintainers, so that we can talk about, like, we can decide on what to do next in the terminal space, because things are like mostly the same nowadays, and the development, like the advancements in this space is a bit like fragmented and a bit slow, I would
Mm,
say,
mm, mm.
because everyone is doing their own thing. So yeah, that's my goal with Terminal Collective.
Okay, no, that's actually super cool. Like that really would alleviate a lot of those like siloing problems where people just don't know work's being done. I'm really curious to see where the terminal space would go then. Like I would hope you'd see more of a, I guess, reinvigoration and interest in this space where people are just, you know, not just implementing the protocols, because that's one thing, right? But actually using the protocols and like making cool things with them, because it's one thing to provide the tools to do something cool, but until something is using that, it's kind of just an idea that's floating out there.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, I've did the Ratty graphics protocol, and people ask like, how do I use it? So basically, there's a Ratatouille widget there that you can use this. But if it's just like out there and nobody's using it, there's no point,
Mhm,
And that's why I'm trying to like spread the word about Ratty more, so that people can actually start building applications with it.
mhm, mhm.
I really want to like see cool stuff like 3D stuff in the terminal. And yeah, that's something that I have done, and I don't know if it will happen. Hopefully it will. Like I really want to like see cool stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll see.
So how does the Ratty graphics protocol actually work?
So I basically took the glyph protocol spec, and I like basically I send some bytes to the terminal,
Mm,
and the terminal is Ratty. So it just reads a object from a file or a buffer, and that's it basically. Like you can literally like run the print command with the payload, and it will render a 3D object from a file or a buffer.
Mhm,
So yeah, it's just like any other like terminal protocol, basically.
mhm, mhm,
Super basic stuff.
mhm. So I am
Just a
a,
custom thing.
sorry, I cut you off there for a little bit. I am kind of curious about the name. I and obviously whole Ratatouille stuff as well. It hadn't come up yet. We have to get to it at some point.
So I love rats.
Mm,
um, Ratatouille was a wordplay on the movie. Someone came up with that. I don't know who came up with the name. So we had like when we first forked TweeRS, the repository and the organization was called TweeRS Revival.
mhm,
My fork is still called TweeRS Revival, and we used that for a while, and we were like, okay, we are now a different project. We should have a name and a logo.
mhm.
So we did a poll on the name. We asked people on Discord, and Ratatouille was one of the options there. And I still don't know who came up with that. I asked like a long time after like we picked Ratatouille. I try to find the exact message on Discord, like the first ever message. I can't find it. Maybe it was on voice chat
Mm,
in one
ah.
of the meetings. Like I don't know. I'm super curious, and nobody actually took ownership of the name. So no idea. But that's actually a great name. Fun fact: I watched the Ratatouille movie after Ratatouille happened, so that's a bit embarrassing on my part. But anyways, never too late. Um,
Yeah, true.
so after Ratatouille, just rats. I love rats as
Mm,
animals. They're super cool. So that became my whole persona. Since I'm always using like I am always wearing a hat, people think that I have a rat under the hat. So that became my whole thing. And I actually have this
yes,
mascot over here. So
that is
one of my
sick.
friends he said, "Dude, I should 3D print the rat for you." And he actually did this, and I painted this on live stream. This was actually broken a couple of times, but yeah. So this is my whole thing now, and I just love it. And Ratty was like, I think it was someone who suggested the name on a live stream.
Mhm.
I was the first like idea was rat term, and they were like, Ratty is a better name, and Ratty is
They're
a
right.
wordplay on a TTY and rat, and because there's like already a terminal called Kitty,
Mhm.
I was like, damn, that's the perfect name. And I just like immediately searched it on GitHub, and no project was using it. So I was like, I'm gonna use Ratty. And I published the Ratty on Crates.io,
Mhm.
and there was already a terminal emulator called Ratty, and I was like, damn, I cannot take the Ratty name. And somebody else created another terminal emulator. So I reached out to them on LinkedIn. I asked, hey, dude, I want to, like, I will release this project. This is gonna, this is gonna, people will have their attention on this, I think. Do you want to, like, donate the Ratty name to me on Crates.io? And they were like, yeah, sure. I mean, you can take it. I appreciate what you're doing in Ratatouille and so on. So they knew about Ratatouille and they knew about me. So I was like super, super happy. So shout out to them. I forget their name, but yeah, so they donated the name to me, and I took the Ratty name, and it's so great. I love it. Yeah, rats.
I used to have pet rats as a kid. The only sad thing with rats, they don't live that long.
Yeah, yeah. I want to have a pet rat at some point. I want to actually like. Okay, fun story.
Mm, mm,
I had this mascot with me at some point. I went to London to give a talk, and there was this meetup. And just jokingly, I said, like in the meetup page, I said, "I'm taking the rat with me. I hope that's fine." I was talking about this thing, and they were like, "Sorry, dude, we don't allow pet rats in the venue. We're terribly sorry." And I was like, No, I mean, this is, I'm not talking about pet rats. I'm taking this. Of course, I didn't flew with the rat under my hat for like, you know, or how long. I don't even remember. But yeah, at some point I will do it.
Mm.
Though I will actually have a rat under this hat. I'm gonna take it off during a talk, and this is gonna be the peak moment of my career.
So,
So yeah.
what sort of response did you expect from this when you dropped it? Because obviously, it's gotten quite a bit of attention since it first came out.
Um, I actually knew that it's gonna get some attention
Mm.
because it's looking hilarious. So I was mostly expecting. So I've done stuff like this before. Basically, I've released some projects and they were on the top of Hacker News. So I'm kind of used to it. I'm not flexing here, but you know, this happened to me before.
Sure,
Okay, I'm
sure.
flexing.
A little
I'm
bit.
flexing. Okay, yeah. Uh, so basically, I was expecting people to play around with this a bit. You know, I was expecting screenshots. I didn't get any screenshots. That's a bit sad. But you know, I shared it um, on Reddit and on some rising subreddits. So people, I was like specifically expecting people to actually integrate this into their setups and have, I don't know, anime girls spinning or some shit. So that didn't happen yet.
Give it
Basically, I was,
time.
yeah, give it time. So I was expecting to, you know, see some fun stuff. I was having fun building this. It was super fun, and you know, I just want to have fun, and I just want to see some fun stuff in return. But of course, I was not expecting anyone to daily drive this because it's heavy. But I knew that people were gonna daily drive it anyways.
Mhm.
So yeah. And yeah, this was a good advertisement for Ratatouille as well, I think.
That's fair. Actually, that's a really good point. I wasn't aware of the Ratatouille project before this. Obviously, people clearly were. It's clearly a popular way of building, like terminal stuff with Rust. But I think you're right. Like, it put a bunch of new eyes onto it who weren't really like involved in that space already.
Yeah, it's a good advertisement for Ratatouille and Rust overall, because that's my primary project.
Mm-mm.
That's what I'm working on primarily. These stuff are just like, you know, like things that I do for fun,
Mm-mm.
but Ratatouille is the main thing. So you know, I try to develop the library. I try to give workshops, give talks, and just, you know, just produce content around this library. So basically, this was just a way of showing off. You know, you can do things like this using Ratatouille and Rust, and that's what I've been doing for a while actually. Like if you go to my social media, if you scroll down, like you'll see like Ratatouille content every day because I just love sharing what people have built. Like every day I get like a, you know, a new, I see a new Ratatouille project or a Rust project, and I just love the language. I just love working on Ratatouille. So that's literally my passion, and you know, this is the product of my passion, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any other ideas in mind for things you want to do? Or is that something that you're kind of just like not really focusing on right now?
So I'm moving to Berlin really soon.
Mhm.
I want to get into the music space a little bit. We actually did an interview with Christian Grote. He's like he made a like a sampler using Ratatouille. He's making
Ooh.
music entirely in the terminal. Like he has this setup where he just like have a MIDI keyboard and there's like visuals on the terminals and so on. So I want to like, you know, just build more like Ratatouille projects in the music space.
Mm.
I'm trying to like, so I have this Kickstarter project. Uh, it's called Tuitar, this little box over here.
Okay.
So basically, this is a 1 second. I'm getting a call. So this is something that you can plug your guitar into. There's this jack input, and it'll show you the tabs and the notes. Everything you play, it shows up here.
Mm.
And this is entirely rendered with Ratatouille. This is a prototype, and I was using this to learn guitar. And you can load songs onto this. There's like a guitar hero mode, and like it real time tracks your what you're playing, and it shows it on a fretboard real time. So
Oh.
something like this doesn't exist. So I just wanted to like kickstart this. So maybe I will focus on this next. Hopefully, I've written a blog post about this, and I've given a talk about all this. I actually played the guitar live on stage. It was super stressful. Like, just I think craziest thing that I've ever done like on stage. Um, so yeah, I flew to New Zealand just to
Oh.
give this talk, and I had this electric guitar and like this like box that I didn't even know if it's gonna work or not, but it worked. So this is something that I want to do. Maybe like a bit more music related, maybe live performances, but from the terminal. Now that we have 3D, you can have like 3D visuals, and I don't know, some cool stuff. I want to like I want to perform.
Mm-mm.
I want to do like cool stuff, cool visuals. And of course, while doing all of this, keep maintaining Ratatouille, keep making content, go to conferences, hang out, um, and yeah, like I want to collaborate more with people as well, like you, and more like you know, build some cool shit, man.
You're definitely building some cool shit. I'll give you that. No, that Tuitar thing's very cool. I don't know if you've seen in the background. I do have a
Yeah, I saw that.
guitar
Yeah.
back there. I'm not very good at. I bought it with the intention to practice, and then I got lazy and didn't practice much. I definitely should do it more. It is fun. But no, this project is super cool as well. I do like that.
I mean, I still don't know how to play guitar, to be honest. Uh, I built it, but so I had like 3 months
Mm,
of
mm, mm.
just three. I was speed running. So the idea was I want to build this, and I want to actually learn a song and just perform it on stage.
Mhm.
And I focused on building this so much that I forgot to practice in the meantime. This thing works, but I didn't really practice. So I know only like one or two songs. I uploaded the Minecraft theme on this, so you can like learn the tabs.
Mhm, mhm.
But this is like still in the prototype stage. I basically like speed run the whole thing, and also like I live streamed the whole like development, so you can literally just watch me make mistakes on YouTube. Like I was soldering live. I literally soldered live, and I soldered some things wrong and didn't work. And yeah, all my stuff is recorded. So I just love building on like open and interacting with people. So yeah, maybe next thing is just properly learn guitar, build this thing, play it. We'll see.
Well, at least you know enough to test the hardware. That's probably fine.
Yeah, I mean, I was on stage and I forgot to like plug in the jack to the amplifier, and I was just super scared. Like, what the hell? Why is there's no like sound? But luckily, this thing was okay, and I was just not plugging the cable. But yeah, like you never know. Like, if you follow me on like internet,
Mm.
my next move is always just like some random shit, and that's what I love about it. I'm about terminals, but I do embedded now. Like I do embedded randomly, and the next day I'm doing a terminal emulator, and the next day I'm doing the other thing. So all over the place, and just just experiment and you just see what happens. Be present. You know.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Well, you're also involved in Arch Linux packaging as well.
Yeah, that's just a side side thing nowadays. I basically joined at the same time that started writing Rust.
Mhm,
I was packaging Rust projects for Arch Linux, and the reason why is like I was just lurking in IRC, and I was just like reading Arch Wiki, and I was just really impressed by the people who work in the team and like what they were doing, and they're like I was super impressed basically. So I
mhm,
was like, okay, I need to do more. I need to contribute to this distro because I'm using this, and I like how it works. It's super nice.
mhm, mhm,
So what can I do next? So started packaging Rust applications, and I had like 100 packages on AUR, and I've I gave a talk. There was like an online ArchConf
mhm.
during COVID times. So I gave a talk there. I sent an application for becoming a package maintainer, and I got accepted. And I just basically, ever since then, I've been dropping Rust packages in the official repos. If there's some cool like Tui app written in Rust, I probably packaged it in the repos.
Mhm,
So that was my thing basically. Discover a project, start using that in my workflow, package it, make it available for other people. So basically, like do the whole thing, and
Oh, you're one of the
this
maintainers on
made
the
me.
ESA package. Oh, okay. I've got the list up right now. I'm just scrolling through it and just seeing if there's
Yeah,
anything here that I use.
yeah. So yeah, bunch of packages that I maintain these days. It's hard to catch up sometimes, but this thing also helped me a lot with making connections in the
Mhm,
open source space, because I contribute back to those packages either by documentation or bug fixes or whatnot. So basically, like I made friends
mhm, mhm,
during this packaging activity. This was super cool. I also like made friends with the guys in the Arch team. They're super talented people, and I had the opportunity to like to use this voluntary work to be more visible.
mhm, mhm,
And like was like a mutual benefit because I was contributing to Arch Linux, and this was contributing back to my visibility on the internet.
mhm, mhm,
So it was a win-win, and I just love the distro, man. It's so great.
mhm,
I cannot move away from Arch. I mean, everything is running Arch. Um, Arch everywhere. I have so many keychains and 3D printed stuff, T-shirts, and we actually I met the team first time
mhm,
in 2021 or 2022 in Hamburg. We have like yearly meetups, and super nice people, like so many like great ideas happening in there. Um, so I don't know, like just love Arch overall.
mhm.
So yeah,
What
contributing.
originally brought you to Arch? Like, how'd you well, not just like get involved, but like actually like get started using the distro?
Just hype, man. Like I saw
Fair,
like
fair.
Arch memes everywhere. Arch, by the way, and I was like, okay, let me give this a try. And I was using KDE like Plasma
Mhm,
when I first installed it, and I switched to i3, and I've been just stuck with i3 ever since then.
mhm,
So basically, hype and rising, and yeah, I mean, you could tell like I like following the hype a little bit. Like I've just starting using Rust because one of my friends he told me that there's this Rust language and it's difficult, and he seemed very cool to me, and I was like, dude, I should learn Rust too because it feels like a different thing and it's cool. So yeah, that's why I started using Rust. But nowadays I'm not following the hype that much because I'm stuck in Arch and Rust. So I haven't. I actually okay. I
Mm,
have tried Alpine and Zig, and those are cool.
mm.
But went back to Rust and Arch. So I don't know. I haven't tried Nix yet. No
Mhm.
opinions on Nix.
Every
I know that
time that I
people gonna ask that.
every time I talk about something that has anything to do with packaging, I always get Nix people in my comments being like, Nix fixes that. Like I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I contributed to Nix. Like, I have one package, I think,
Mm-mm.
but that's it. Like, okay, I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but yeah, Nix flakes. No opinions. I don't want to get canceled.
Every time that I've had Nix people on here to explain Nix to me, I end up leaving the episode with more questions than I started.
Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I'm not involved in that much drama. Like I have no idea. I've made it like I'm trying to create drama here, man. Like I created a 3D Eternal emulator. Come on. I
That's
should
true.
I mean, I don't have time for more drama. So, yeah, please come like attack me with 3D Eternal questions.
Fair
No
enough.
next question.
Yeah, good plan. Stick with the 3D questions.
Yeah.
Uh, stick with like the weird possible use cases you can come up with for the 3D in a terminal. I'm sure. So one of the things I mentioned in my video is like when you've created this like thing like to do something cool. Now you've sort of opened up the floodgates for the people that have the weird ideas that have just always had this idea in their head and just never had a place to implement it.
Let me think. I think like the most like the most people wanted to have this CAD
Mm,
3D CAD program.
mm, mm, mm.
So we already have it now. Kind of. I mean, I couldn't live demo it, but it's out there. It works. Trust me. Um, what else? I'm not sure, man. Like I had so many like different ideas while building this. At some point, I just wanted to build a terminal game where you have the POV of a rat in a terminal where you just move between cells and so on.
Mm.
It was just a crazy thing, but I haven't seen something that is um like I haven't read at least something that is going to be a bit untraditional if it makes sense. I
Mm.
haven't seen that idea yet, but I'm hoping that that will come soon. Right now I feel like people are kind of digesting what they have seen, and
Mm. Mm. Mm.
as time goes on, I think we will start seeing more things. So there's actually like one interesting use case where there's this person who's trying to like draw some some geometric shapes, and they were stuck because I did a mistake in the code where it was like the shading was a bit wrong. So
Mhm, mhm,
just give it some time. I also need to fix some things,
mhm, mhm.
and we need to do more experiments. Right now the demos work fine, but yeah, just give it some time, more experiments, like give it a bit more like minor versions of Ratty, and I think we'll start to see more stuff. And hopefully after this episode, people will try it out and send me screenshots. That would be so great.
One of the things I did notice when I was looking at stuff for Ratty, apparently there's a way to do 3D with Kitty already, and with you can do it in the Ghosty terminal as well. Someone showed like a demo of 3D running and Ghosty. I didn't know you could already do that.
you mean the Hacker News comment, right? I saw that as well, I
Yeah, and
think.
there's like a link to a video of it being done.
Yeah, I haven't looked into it. I'm not sure if it's like a shader or an actual protocol thing,
Mm.
but yeah, I haven't checked it. I and to see it.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah, no comments. There are like okay, there's so many things to catch up after I released this. This was like on the first place on Hacker News for a long time. So there was
Mm-mm.
like so many comments. So yeah, I literally took like a day or two just going through everything and just creating issues and replying to comments. And I got banned from Lobsters just because I was doing like a bit more like self promo. I
Uh-huh.
think they banned my like they blacklisted my domain, so I cannot. I no longer post I can no longer post my own blog posts on Lobsters, which is a bit sad. And my post was deleted because someone said it was wipe coded. It was not. Okay,
Mm-mm.
I've read everything to the last semicolon,
Mm.
but of course it was AI assisted. So
Right.
yeah, I was yeah I felt a bit bad. And then there was like another um, lobsters thread where people just said like the quality of posts is dropping because of AI generated content. Maybe I triggered that. I don't know. I didn't really comment on anything. Like it was sad. It's sad times.
Honestly, that's generally for the best. Like, you don't need to be reading opinions about yourself, reading opinions about your work. It's generally not good for you. Whether it's positive or negative, as someone who has probably gotten tens of thousands of comments about myself, I would encourage you to avoid it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you probably know better than me, but I don't usually like get a lot of comments. Like my live streams are usually not many people, and I usually know the people who are watching
Right,
my
right.
live stream. So it's a bit like I value their opinions, but maybe sometimes when you release something, you should just close your eyes a little bit.
Yeah, okay,
I
that
did
that
that for lobsters.
that's a bit different. Like when it's like a small community of people you know, like that's sure, absolutely. But like people outside of your community who are like random people who've never interacted with your work before, it's not worth it's not worth it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, with the Hacker News stuff, I don't read most of the comments because it's just like people arguing about something unrelated,
Yep, yep.
and I was like, okay, this is not even about me. Then why would I get involved? And that usually that's good for the project though. It's
Mhm.
so weird. Like when you get people when you get people talking about something, that's usually when you get more visible, which
Mm-mm.
is kind of weird. Like they're not even talking about my project. They're just arguing about AI, and I'm like, I'm getting upvotes in the meantime. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Mhm.
it's weird, but maybe it's just the way it is. I have no idea.
Mm. Well, since it's come up a couple of times throughout the talk, like how was AI actually used in the project?
So the first, like when I first implemented this, I took the repository from this 3D animation thing that I've seen. Like
Mhm.
it was using software Ratatouille and Bevy. I took the repo and I literally said like, I want to build something like this. So give me a like really something really simple. Just simplify the whole thing.
Mhm.
Just give me the skeleton of the project. So just initialize the project. So I basically approached it as like any other project of mine, which is just step by step. So I didn't like vibe coded the whole thing. I didn't say um, create a 3D terminal emulator, make it like 3D spinning rat and so on. So I started from the very beginning.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
had the skeleton like setup, project setup, and then I said, um, so I basically like prompted a little bit there. I said, add a shell, make it like a terminal, and then just render a surface. I did that, and I had like like 2D terminal, just
Mhm.
a simple shell, and then I said, I didn't immediately had the idea of having a 3D terminal emulator, so I wanted to have a rat cursor,
Mhm.
not even spinning rat, just the rat cursor. I said like, use this object file. I downloaded a 3D rat object, and then I said like, use this object file, place it on the cursor,
Mhm.
and this took actually a week to properly implement because I was trying to like do this in our hackerspace sessions.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I tried to do this in like 1 hour. I failed horribly. It was not working. And then I quit and then I came back after a week and I tried again. And this time it worked. And I had the cursor as the rat. So it was moving and I had the terminal. And then after that, I was like, okay, what do I do next? Just make it like a terminal emulator, so make like better font support, because in at first it was like it was really bad, like it was just Minecraft text, like like super blocky. It was like everything is weird.
Mhm.
When
Mhm.
you resize the terminal, like you resize it, like the terminal would stretch,
Mm.
like it wouldn't adapt to the size, so you
Oh.
could literally like stretch the text. And I was like, what the hell? So I had to fix those like problems. And then like on every step I've like checked what I was building, because I knew like I had the same experience from other projects.
Mhm.
If I gave AI full control, I would get lost at some point and I don't understand anything anymore. So I was just checking every step. I was making sure that everything is correct, everything is right. I understand the code. So add the rat cursor, make it like a proper terminal emulator.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what did I do next? I don't even remember when the idea of having the 3D mode came to me,
Mhm.
but I added the 3D mode where I could zoom out, like press a key, zoom out, be able to rotate the terminal. And at first it didn't have the back side, so it would just like just you could rotate it, but like it's 2D thing. And then I added the back side, and then I have lost some time just experimenting with different ideas there. I wanted to have the terminal as a tick block. That didn't work. I wanted to have like embroidered, I don't know if that's the right word, embroidered like characters, like kind of like I wanted to have like a depth
Oh,
for
yes, yes,
for
yes,
the
yeah. Yeah, okay.
yeah, for the each character. That didn't work, so basically I added the 3D mode. And I make it configurable. I make it like, I don't know, better font support, better rendering. And like I said in the beginning, it was unusable, it was really bad. So I had some help from friends, gold, silver, copper. He created the parlay ratatouille crate just for this project. He's an amazing person. Like he's done the heavy lifting, man. Like
Mhm.
the random person in Nebraska meme, there the whole
Yeah,
infrastructure is
yeah, yeah, yeah,
dependent
yeah.
on one little block. He's that person right there. So yeah, he created that library and I've used that. And after that it was just like any other terminal emulator. And the rendering was really broken, man. Like I was running htop, and like the characters were just all over the place. It was not great. So I had to fix some issues, but on every step I was checking the output of the AI. So like I was basically like developing this step by step. And the Mobius strip, or I think it's pronounced as Mobius. I don't know. The Mobius strip was just like I added that just the before the day that I released the project. This was not there.
Uh-huh.
I visited a friend. He's like he's like a mechanics, like mechatronics, some guy who's like super smart guy.
Right, right, right.
And I visited him, and he was like, "Hey, can you do the Mobius strip from this?" I'm like, "What is that?" he was like he took a piece of paper and was like, okay, you do this, and this is like a Mobius strip. I was like, okay, maybe I can do that, and we implemented that, and it was just added. Also, like he told me about the gumbug, the rock shape, and like we started experimenting. I actually made like a paper plane mode, so you could have a paper plane from the terminal. This was implemented, but I didn't commit it. So
Right.
yeah, and oh my god, I just remembered. Holy shit! We actually did like when you quit the terminal, like the terminal would turn into a paper plane, like it would fold itself, and it would just fly away. I implemented this, but I haven't committed.
If you want another
Like,
fun idea that you could implement, um, origami crane.
oh man, yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are so many things. Like, so yeah, that day, that evening, we just spent like a couple of hours just trying to like render the terminal as a bottle, as a paper plane, as a gumbook. That was so fun. So yeah, I like the Mobius strip, so I left it in.
Mhm,
But the other stuff is probably in my Git stash somewhere. So yeah, the whole process of developing this was step by step. Just check every step, and I have developed like other open source projects in the past
mhm, mhm, mhm,
where I didn't use any AI. So I was like, I was familiar with the whole thing.
mhm, mhm,
And okay, I need to mention and
mhm,
give a shout out to Strofox for the logo, because I made the whole thing and I needed a logo. So I created an issue, a discussion on GitHub. I said, "Hey, I'm gonna release this. I need a logo. Who wants to help me?" And I shared this on my socials, and this person just randomly created the logo for Ratty. They posted on the discussion, and I invited them to Discord, and we had a call there. We talked about like what to do, and we had like multiple versions of this logo. And at the end, like he added the VHS animation to the screen, and like I am super happy with how it turned out. So shout out to Stropox for the logo, and we collaborated on that. And yeah, just like a cheese computer
Oh,
thing,
I didn't
like
even notice it was
VT100.
cheese. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a VT100 type of a computer, but as a cheese.
Mhm, mhm,
So yeah, I just love it. It looks so cool. So yeah, I love contributing. Like I love collaborating with people on open source project. It's the best thing in the world, man.
mhm,
So
mhm,
yeah, I also have like a 3D object version of this logo, but I haven't used it anywhere. Maybe I will use it somewhere. I don't know.
mhm, mhm.
So yeah, yeah, that's the whole story.
Now that's awesome. Um, I think we've pretty much covered everything at this point. I did want, but very not important at all. Is that a bunch of Bionicles on the shelf behind you?
Man, yeah. I love Bionicles. Like, um, basically, I my dream was to build robots as a child,
Mhm, mhm,
and I'm into Bionicles, and I did maybe I did. I don't remember. I probably built some robots, but yeah, I just love Bionicles, and huge fan. I should I should say. So yeah, are you also into Bionicles as well?
Uh, I had some as a kid, but not really. Like I liked them as a kid because I liked robots, but like I don't have any at this point. But I do think they're cool.
Yeah, I mean, in Turkey we didn't have all the sets,
Mm.
sadly, but I just got the ones that I got, and I when I first got my like first Bionicle, it's I think it was this guy, or this was the second,
Mm,
but
mm,
I didn't know it was a Bionicle, so I looked it up on the internet, and at some point, like at that point, I didn't know any English, so I didn't know what I was looking at, but
mm.
it was super cool. So yeah, I mean, God damn. No, no, it's all good. He's chill. So yeah, and also like I have played the games, and like there's like PS2 games with those like special aesthetics
Mm,
of like back in the day, like DirectX type of aesthetics. I just love them as well. So like 3D stuff. I just have a like a soft spot for Bionicles and nostalgia and like stuff like
mm.
that.
No, they are sick.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch on? We pretty much get to everything.
Um, Not really, man. I mean, thanks for the opportunity to, just talk about all the stuff that I'm doing. I know that it sounds like I'm a bit all over the place
It's
with all
fine.
of
So
this,
am I.
but it's just how it is, man. Like open source is very unpredictable.
Mhm,
You work on some project, you meet some person, and all of a sudden you're just a maintainer, or you're just at a conference and giving a talk. So
mhm.
I just love the randomness part of open source. So I'm super glad that this project made made me made me who I am, and be present here and just talking with you, and talking about rats, cheese, and rust, I guess. So yeah, appreciate the stage.
Yeah, no, absolute pleasure. I hope the project goes well. I hope Ratatouille goes well, and if I happen, hopefully, if you make another project, I will realize who it was this time. Uh, now that I know the face behind the account.
If you see like some project with some rat wordplay or a cheese concept, that's probably me at this point.
Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind. Um,
Yeah.
nothing else. Nothing else you want to mention? Pretty much good there.
Yeah. If you want to support me, GitHub sponsors,
Yes.
and yeah, that's it, I guess.
You also have your YouTube and various other things.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube, I live stream all my mistakes and all the behind the scenes content. So if you want to follow me there, go for it. But yeah, I'll be around on GitHub probably.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll leave your links in the description, and if you want to check those out, then yeah, go and do those.
yeah,
Okay.
appreciate.
I
Sounds good.
will do my outro, and then we'll sign off.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, my main channel is Brody Robertson. I do Linux videos there 6-ish days a week. Sometimes I stream as well. It has been a while, but I'll get to it eventually. I also have the gaming channel. I do stream there. I stream there twice a week. By the time this comes out, I don't know what I'll be playing. Probably still Shenmue 3 and maybe Metal Gear Solid 3, maybe Death Stranding. I don't know. Check out the channel. I don't know. Maybe I'm playing something else. If I go to the channel, you'll find something. If you're watching the video version, just find the audio version of basically every podcast platform at Tech Over Tea. The video is going to be on YouTube at Tech Over Tea. You will find it there. We also have Spotify video as well if you like your Spotify video. How do you want to sign us off? What do you want to say?
Play Rat Shaker next time
What the hell is
on
rat?
your gaming channel.
What is rat?
Rat Shaker.
Sorry, we're gonna get sidetracked for a moment. What is rat shaker?
Just play it.
Okay, sure. Okay, fine.
You're gonna regret it.
Okay, sure.